Today I'm going to show you 4 different strategies for 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication, starting with the area model. We're going to look at 24 times 53, and first we're going to decompose those numbers into their tens and their ones. If you can do this in your head, you can skip this step. If not, or if you think this will be helpful, you can draw it out. 20 in 24 can be decomposed into 20, and then I have 4 ones. 53 can be decomposed into 50 and 3. My next step is to draw a box that's divided into 4 parts or 4 areas. Your box doesn't need to be perfect, and the area doesn't have to be split perfectly unless you really want to do so. But if you just want to split a rectangle into 4, regardless of the size, then that will suffice. On my left side, I'm going to have 20 and 4. At the top, I'm going to have 50 and 3. Because these numbers were decomposed, they're going to have to be added back together at the end. So after we multiply, we're going to add them together. Let's start with our multiplication. First, I'm going to look at 20 times 50. I'm thinking that 2 times 5 is equal to 10. And there are 2 zeros here, so I need to put 2 zeros at the end. So 20 times 50 is equal to 1,000. Next, I'm going to look at 20 times 3. Well, 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and I'm going to put 1 zero at the end. After, I'm going to look at 4 times 50. Well, 4 times 5 is equal to 20, and I'm going to add a 0 at the end for 200. Lastly, I'm going to look at 4 times 3, which is equal to 12. Once again, because we decomposed these numbers, now we have to add them back together. So I'm going to add 1,000 plus 200. Notice how I'm putting the numbers in order from greatest to least. 60 and 12. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. 0 plus 2 is equal to 2, and 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. So 24 times 53 is equal to 1,272. Next strategy we're going to look at is the distributive property. With the distributive property, if I'm doing 24 times 53, I once again start by decomposing my numbers into their tens and their ones. This time I'm going to give more space between my decomposed numbers and the arrows here. So I have 20 plus 4 and 50 plus 3. I'm going to put 20 and 4 in brackets, as well as 50 and 3. These are the numbers that are going to be multiplied together now. I'm going to distribute each number in the brackets to another number, or to each other, sorry. I'll show you what that means. I'm going to take 20 and I'm going to multiply it with 50 because the tens and the tens need to be multiplied together. So 20 times 50 is the same as 2 times 5 is equal to 10, and putting 2 zeros at the end. Next, I'm going to multiply 20 and 3. So I'm multiplying the tens and the ones. 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and putting a 0 at the end is going to give me 60. After, I'm going to multiply 4 and 50. So now, in this side of the brackets, the 1s are being multiplied with the 10s now. 4 times 5 is equal to 20. And if I put a 0 at the end, that's going to give me 200. Lastly, I'm going to multiply 4 by 3. I need to multiply my 1s and my 1s together. And 4 times 3 is equal to 12. My last step is to add them all together. So 1,000 plus 60 is equal to 1,060. 1,060 plus 200 is equal to 1,260. Plus 12 is going to give me 1,272. It's a long one, but distributive property is the strategy that you will be revisiting in older grades. Third strategy is traditional algorithm. This is the strategy that your parents and I grew up with, but it's actually something we just kind of memorized because it's really hard to explain. I'm going to try to explain it anyway, so we're going to start with the very long explanation before I show you the short way to do this. So I'm drawing this here because I want to show you the place value. Place value is really important with traditional algorithm, otherwise you won't answer correctly. First, I'm going to take a look at my 1s and my 1s. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. I can't have 12 in my 1's place value. I can only have up to 9. So I'm going to take 1, 10, and I'm going to regroup that over to my 10's place value. It's now an extra. I don't multiply this. This is just an extra 110. I'm left with 2 1s. Next, I'm going to do my 1s times my 10s. So 3 times 2 is equal to 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. My next step is to take a look at my 10s times my 1s and then my 10s times my 10s. 5 is not 5. It actually means 50, so I'm going to put 0 as a placeholder. 5 times 4 is equal to 20. Well, I can't have 20 in my 10's place value. I can only have up to 9. So I keep the 0 in my 20 and I regroup 2 10s up at the top. It's to be added. Next, I'm going to do 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is equal to 10, plus 2 is equal to 12. And my final step is to add these together. So 2 plus 0 is equal to 2, 7 plus 0 is equal to 7, and then I have 12. 24 times 53 is equal to 1,272. Now let's take a look at the traditional algorithm without all of those explanations. So I'm going to get rid of this. We have 24 times 53. I'm going to multiply my 1s and my 1s. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. The 10 and 12 is going to be regrouped over. 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Plus 1 is equal to 7. Now I'm going to multiply my 10s and my 1s and my 10s and my 10s. This 5 means 50, so I need to have 0 here as a placeholder. 5 times 4 is equal to 20. 5 times 2 is equal to 10, plus 2 is equal to 12. And finally, add my numbers together. So 24 times 53 is equal to 1,272. Last strategy we're going to look at is left to right, not partial products, because everything we have been doing is partial products. Left to right, I might have made this strategy up, but we're going to use it and it might help you. So with left to right, you multiply from the left side to the right side, starting from the top and then doing the bottom. So I'm going to start with this 2. This is not 2, this means 20. 20 times 3 is equal to 60. Notice how I started with my left number 2. Now I'm going to look at my right number. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Those are my top numbers. Now I'm going to move to my bottom numbers. I'm starting with the 5 on the left side. This doesn't mean 5, it means 50. 50 times 20 is equal to 1,000. 50 times 4 is equal to 200. When I add this together, I get 1,272. So 24 times 53 is equal to 1,272.